Novena of Holy Christmas. The 9 Excesses of Love, by the servant of God, Luisa Piccarreta, little daughter of the Divine Will. This booklet dedicated on the feast of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Preparation for Holy Christmas during the season of Advent. The 9 Excesses of Love in the Incarnation of the Word. Luisa Piccarreta, the little daughter of the Divine Will. Let us prepare ourselves for the great feast of Holy Christmas by meditating on the mystery of the Incarnation of the Word, attentively and continuously during the season of Advent, with the Christmas Novena, the 9 Excesses of Love, which Luisa did for the first time at the age of 17, and which she never abandoned during the course of her life. Here below is a suggested schedule of meditation. First, let us focus on each excess of love for 1 week, during 9 consecutive weeks, by reading and meditating on them each day, ever more closely and deeply. This will help us to prepare ourselves for the final 9 days before Christmas, in which we will repeat the novena. May God grant us abundant graces, light, and consuming love, to be reborn with Him in the life of the Divine Will. Amen. The schedule of the 9-week novena is as follows. The first week, the meditation begins with the first excess of love, whose theme is Trinitarian love. This is held during the week of October 14th through the 20th. The second meditation is on the second excess of love, known as constrained love. The week is October 21st through the 27th. The third meditation is the third excess of love, whose theme is devouring love, held during October 28th through November 3rd. The fourth meditation is the fourth excess of love, known as operative love, held in the week of November 4th through the 10th. The fifth meditation is the fifth excess of love, whose theme is lonely love, done from November 11th through the 17th. The sixth meditation is the sixth excess of love, with the theme of imprisoned love, held during November 18th through the 24th. The seventh excess of love is next, whose theme is unrequited love, held between November 25th through December 1st. The eighth meditation is on the eighth excess of love, whose theme is supplicating love, held from December 2nd through the 8th. The ninth excess of love, whose theme is agonizing love, is held between December 9th through the 15th. During the 9-day novena, these 9 excesses of love follow from December 16th, ending on December 25th, the feast of Holy Christmas, whose theme is the birth of Jesus. We begin. Christmas Novena from the writings of Luisa Piccarreta, Volume 1. Luisa says, with the Novena of Holy Christmas, at the age of about 17, I prepared myself for the feast of Holy Christmas by practicing various acts of virtue and mortification, and especially by honoring the 9 months which Jesus spent in the maternal womb, with 9 hours of meditation each day, always concerning the mystery of the Incarnation. The first excess of love. As, for example, for 1 hour, with my thought, I brought myself to paradise, and I imagined the most holy Trinity, the Father sending the Son upon earth, and the Son promptly obeying the will of the Father, the Holy Spirit consenting. My mind was confused in contemplating a mystery so great, a love so reciprocal, so equal, so strong among themselves and toward men, and then the ingratitude of men, and especially my own. I would have remained there not for 1 hour, but for the whole day. But an interior voice told me, "Enough. Come and see other greater excesses of my love." Second excess of love. Then my mind brought itself into the maternal womb, and remained stupefied in considering a God so great in heaven, now so annihilated, restricted, constrained, as to be unable to move, and almost even to breathe. The interior voice told me, "Do you see how much I have loved you? Oh, please make me a little space in your heart. Remove everything which is not mine, so you will give me more freedom to move and to breathe." My heart was consumed. I asked for his forgiveness. I promised to be completely his own. I poured myself out in crying. But, I say this to my confusion, I would go back to my usual defects. Oh, Jesus, how good you are with this miserable creature. Third excess of love. As I moved on from the second to the third meditation, an interior voice told me, "My daughter, place your head upon the womb of my mamma, and look deep into it at my little humanity." My love devoured me. The fires, the oceans, the immense seas of love of my divinity inundated me, burned me to ashes, and sent their flames so high as to rise and reach everywhere, all generations, from the first to the last man. My little humanity was devoured in the midst of such flames. But do you know what my eternal love wants me to devour? Ah, souls! And only then was I content, when I devoured them all, to remain conceived with me. I was God, and I was to operate as God. I had to take them all. My love would have given me no peace had I excluded any of them. Ah, my daughter, look well into the womb of my mamma. Fix well your eyes on my conceived humanity, and you will find your soul conceived with me, and the flames of my love that devour you. Oh, how much I loved you, and I do love you. I felt dissolved in the midst of so much love, nor was I able to go out of it. But a voice called me loudly, saying, My daughter, this is nothing yet. Cling more tightly to me, and give your hands to my dear mamma, that she may hold you to her maternal womb. And you, take another look at my little conceived humanity, and watch the fourth excess of my love. Fourth excess of love. My daughter, from the devouring love, move on to look at my operative love. Each conceived soul brought me the burden of her sins, of her weaknesses and passions, and my love commanded me to take the burden of each one of them. And it conceived not only the souls, but the pains of each one, as well as the satisfaction which each one of them was to give to my celestial Father. So my passion was conceived together with me. Look well at me in the womb of my celestial mamma. Oh, how tortured was my little humanity! Look well at my little head, surrounded by a crown of thorns, which pressed tightly around my temples, made rivers of tears pour out from my eyes, nor was I able to make a move to dry them. Oh, please be moved to compassion for me. Dry my eyes from so much crying, you who have free arms to be able to do it. These thorns are the crown of the so many evil thoughts which crowd the human minds. Oh, how they prick me, more than thorns which sprout from the earth. But look again. What a long crucifixion of 9 months! I could not move a finger or a hand or a foot. I was always immobile. There was no room to be able to move even a tiny bit. What a long and hard crucifixion, with the addition that all evil works, assuming the form of nails, continuously pierced my hands and feet. So he continued to narrate to me pains upon pains, all the martyrdoms of his little humanity, such that if I wanted to tell them all, I would be too long. I abandoned myself to crying, and I heard in my interior, "My daughter, I would like to hug you, but I am unable to do so. There is no room. I am immobile. I cannot do it. I would like to come to you, but I am unable to walk. For now, you hug me, and you come to me. Then when I come out of the maternal womb, I will come to you." But as I hugged him and squeezed him tightly to my heart with my imagination, an interior voice told me, "Enough for now, my daughter, move on to consider the 5th excess of my love." Fifth excess of love. And the interior voice continued, "My daughter, do not move away from me. Do not leave me alone. My love wants your company. This is another excess of my love, which does not want to be alone. But do you know whose company it wants? That of the creature. See, in the womb of my mamma, all of the creatures are together with me, conceived together with me. I am with them, all love. I want to tell them how much I love them. I want to speak with them, to tell them of my joys and sorrows, that I have come into their midst to make them happy, and to console them, that I will remain in their midst as a little brother, giving my goods, my kingdom, to each one of them at the cost of my life. I want to give them my kisses and my caresses. I want to amuse myself with them. But oh, how many sorrows they give me. Some run away from me. Some play deaf and force me into silence. Some despise my goods and do not care about my kingdom, returning my kisses and caresses with indifference and obliviousness of me, so they convert my amusement into bitter crying. Oh, how lonely I am, though in the midst of many. Oh, how loneliness weighs upon me. I have no one to whom to say a word, with whom to pour myself out, not even in love. I am always sad and taciturn, because if I speak, I am not listened to. Ah, my daughter, I beg you, I implore you, do not leave me alone in so much loneliness. Give me the good of letting me speak by listening to me. Lend your ear to my teachings. I am the Master of Masters. How many things do I want to teach you? If you listen to me, you will stop my crying, and I will amuse myself with you. Don't you want to amuse yourself with me? And as I abandoned myself in him, giving him my compassion in his loneliness, the interior voice continued, "Enough, enough. Move on to consider the sixth excess of my love." Sixth excess of love. My daughter, come. Pray my dear mamma to set aside a little space for you within her maternal womb, that you yourself may see the painful state in which I find myself. So in my thoughts it seemed that our Queen Mamma made me a little room to make Jesus content, and placed me in it. But the darkness was such that I could not see him. I could only hear his breathing, while he continued to say in my interior, "My daughter, look at another excess of my love. I am the eternal light. The sun is a shadow of my light. But do you see where my love led me? In what a dark prison I am. There is not a glimmer of light. It is always night for me, but a night without stars, without rest. I am always awake. What pain! The narrowness of this prison, without being able to make the slightest movement. The thick darkness. Even my breathing, as I breathe through the breathing of my mamma. Oh, how labored it is! To this add the darkness of the sins of creatures. Each sin was a night for me, and combined together they formed an abyss of darkness with no boundaries. What pain! Oh, excess of my love, making me pass from an immensity of light and space into an abyss of thick darkness, so narrow as to lose the freedom to breathe. And all this for love of creatures. As he was saying this, he moaned. moans almost suffocated because of the lack of space. And he cried. I was consumed with crying. I thanked him. I compassionated him. I wanted to make him a little light with my love, as he told me to. But who can say all? Then the same interior voice added, Enough for now. Move on to the seventh excess of my love. Seventh excess of love. The interior voice continued, My daughter, do not leave me alone in so much loneliness and in so much darkness. Do not leave the womb of my mamma, so you may see the seventh excess of my love. Listen to me. In the womb of my celestial Father I was fully happy. There was no good which I did not possess. Joy, happiness, everything was at my disposal. The angels adored me reverently, hanging upon my every wish. Ah, excess of my love! I could say that it made me change my destiny. It restrained me within this gloomy prison. It stripped me of all my joys, happinesses, and goods, to clothe me with all the unhappinesses of creatures. And all this in order to make an exchange, to give them my destiny, my joys, and my eternal happiness. But this would have been nothing had I not found in them highest ingratitude and obstinate perfidy. Oh, how my eternal love was surprised in the face of so much ingratitude, and how it cried over the stubbornness and perfidy of man. Ingratitude was the sharpest thorn that pierced my heart, from my conception up to the last moments of my life. Look at my little heart. It is wounded and pours out blood. What pain, what torture I feel. My daughter, do not be ungrateful to me. Ingratitude is the hardest pain for your Jesus. It is to close the door in my face, leaving me numb with cold. But my love did not stop at so much ingratitude. It took the attitude of supplicating, imploring, moaning, and begging love. This is the eighth excess of my love. Eighth excess of love. My daughter, do not leave me alone. Place your head upon the womb of my dear mamma, and even from the outside you will hear my moans and my supplications. In seeing that neither my moans nor my supplications move the creature to compassion for my love, I assume the attitude of the poorest of beggars, and stretching out my little hand, I ask, for pity's sake, and at least as alms, for their souls, for their affections, and for their hearts. My love wanted to win over the heart of man at any cost, and in seeing that after 7 excesses of my love he was still reluctant, he played deaf. He did not care about me, and did not want to give himself to me. My love wanted to push itself further. It should have stopped, but no, it wanted to overflow even more from within its boundaries, and from the womb of my mamma it made my voice reach every heart, with the most insinuating manners, with the most fervent prayers. with the most penetrating words. And do you know what I said to them? My child, give me your heart. I will give you everything you want, provided that you give me your heart in exchange. I have descended from heaven to make a prey of it. Oh, please do not deny it to me. Do not delude my hopes. And in seeing him reluctant even more, many turned their backs to me. I passed on to moaning. I joined my little hands, and crying, with a voice suffocated by sobs, I added, Oh, I'm the little beggar. You don't want to give me your heart, not even as alms. Is this not a greater excess of my love, that the Creator, in order to approach the creature, takes the form of a little baby, so as not to strike fear in him? That he asks for the heart of the creature, at least as alms? And in seeing that he does not want to give it, he supplicates, moans, and cries? Then I heard him say, And you, don't you want to give me your heart? Or maybe you too want me to moan, beg, and cry in order to give me your heart? Do you want to deny me the alms I ask of you? And as he was saying this, I heard him as though sobbing. And I, My Jesus, do not cry. I give you my heart and all of myself. Then the interior voice continued, Move further, pass on to the 9th excess of my love. Ninth excess of love. My daughter, my state is ever more painful. If you love me, keep your gaze fixed on me, to see if you can offer some relief to your Jesus. A little word of love, a caress, a kiss, will give respite to my crying and to my afflictions. Listen, my daughter. After I gave 8 excesses of my love, and man requited them so badly, my love did not give up, and wanted to add the 9th excess to the 8th. And this was yearnings, sighs of fire, flames of desire, for I wanted to go out of the maternal womb to embrace man. This reduced my little humanity, not yet born, to such an agony as to reach the point of breathing my last. But as I was about to breathe my last, my divinity, which was inseparable from me, gave me sips of life. So I regained life to continue my agony and return again to the point of death. This was the 9th excess of my love, to agonize and to die of love continuously for the creature. Oh, what a long agony of 9 months! Oh, how love suffocated me and made me die! Had I not had the divinity with me, which gave me life again every time I was about to finish, love would have consumed me before coming out to the light of day. Then he added, Look at me, listen to me, how I agonize, how my heart beats, pants, burns. Look at me. Now I die. and he remained in deep silence. I felt like dying. My blood froze in my veins, and trembling I said to him, "My love, my life, do not die. Do not leave me alone. You want love, and I will love you. I will not leave you ever again. Give me your flames to be able to love you more and be consumed completely for you." This is the end of the 9 excesses of love. Fiat. Prayer of consecration to the Holy Divine Will. O adorable and divine will, here I am before the immensity of your light, that your eternal goodness may open to me the doors and make me enter into it, to form my life all in you, divine will. Therefore, prostrate before your light, I, the littlest among all creatures, come, O adorable will, into the little group of the first children of your supreme Fiat. Prostrate in my nothingness, I beseech and implore your endless light, that it may want to invest me and eclipse everything that does not belong to you, in such a way that I may do nothing other than look, comprehend, and live in you, divine will. It shall be my life, the center of my intelligence, the enrapture of my heart and of my whole being. In this heart the human will shall no longer have life. I shall banish it forever, and shall form the new Eden of peace, of happiness, and of love. With it I shall always be happy. I shall have a unique strength and a sanctity that sanctifies everything and brings everything to God. Here, prostrate, I invoke the help of the Sacrosanct Trinity, that they admit me to live in the cloister of the divine will, so as to restore in me the original order of creation, just as the creature was created. Celestial Mother, Sovereign Queen of the divine Fiat, take me by the hand and enclose me in the light of the divine will. You shall be my guide, my tender mother. You shall guard your child and shall teach me to live and to maintain myself in the order and in the bounds of the divine will. Celestial Sovereign, to your immaculate heart I entrust my whole being. I shall be the tiny little child of the divine will. You shall teach me the divine will, and I shall be attentive in listening to you. You shall lay your blue mantle over me, so that the infernal serpent may not dare to penetrate into this sacred Eden, to entice me and make me fall into the maze of the human will. Heart of my highest good, Jesus, you shall give me your flames, that they may burn me, consume me, and nourish me, to form in me the life of the supreme will. Saint Joseph, you shall be my protector, the custodian of my heart, and shall keep the keys of my will in your hands. You shall keep my heart jealously, and shall never give it to me again, that I may be sure never to go out of the will of God. Guardian angel, guard me, defend me, help me in everything, so that my Eden may grow flourishing and be the call of the whole world into the will of God. Celestial Court, come to my help, and I promise you to live always in the divine will. Amen. December 16th, 1928. Speaking of the 9 excesses of Jesus in the Incarnation. Contentments of Jesus. I was doing my meditation, and since today it was the beginning of the Novena of Baby Jesus, I was thinking about the 9 excesses of his incarnation that Jesus had narrated to me with so much tenderness, and that are written in the first volume. I felt great reluctance at reminding the confessor about this, because in reading them he had told me that he wanted to read them in public in our chapel. These 9 excesses of my love, manifested with so much love of tenderness and simplicity, formed the prelude of the many lessons I was to give you about my divine Fiat, in order to form its kingdom. And now, by their being read, my love is renewed and redoubled. Don't you want, then, that my love, being redoubled, overflow outside and invest more hearts, so that, as a prelude, they may dispose themselves for the lessons of my will, to make it known and reign? After this, the confessor was reading in the chapel the first excess of the love of Jesus in the Incarnation. And my sweet Jesus, from within my interior, pricked up his ears to listen. And drawing me to himself, he said to me, "My daughter, how happy I feel in listening to them! But my happiness increases in keeping you in this house of my will, as both of us are listeners. I of what I have told you, and you of what you have heard from me. My love swells, boils, and overflows. Listen, listen, how beautiful it is. The word contains the breath, and as it is spoken, the word carries the breath that, like air, goes around from mouth to mouth, and communicates the strength of my creative word. And the new creation that my word contains descends into the hearts." Fiat. You have reached the end of the Novena of Holy Christmas, the 9 excesses of love.